Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to step onto the ice for some biscuits and penalties. I'm Cobra, and I am once again joined by Alex, once again on the ice. Say hello, Alex.
Oh,
Right. Round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs is underway. A lot of interesting stories and surprises going on. Um, Alex, so far, what do you think of the playoffs?
this has probably been one of the most entertaining playoffs I've seen in a very, very long time,
Yeah,
especially with how the West Coast is going. Four series went 6+ games. It was not expected at all. I was not expecting that out of the West at all, especially with how the Oilers have been playing. They are playing for the Cup this year. They are playing to avenge last year with the heartbreaking defeat to the Florida Panthers. And the Panthers are looking lackluster against the Maple Leafs. So there's a lot of storylines with that of Ryan Marchand winning them the game to not force it, but force a not sweep by the Maple Leafs because they are trying to go back to Florida with the tied series.
not only that, but I think the Maple Leafs are playing to erase that. Can only make it past the second round funk that they've been bathed in for the past 60 years. And I'm telling you the truth, it's been almost 60 years since they have had that funk. Um, the non Stanley Cup final funk, I should say. Um, for me, I definitely think that Edmonton has been playing very differently ever since they pulled Stuart Skinner and started Calvin Pickard. Um, Let me see. Looking at the last game that they had, uh, yeah, they've been playing Calvin Pickard over Stuart Skinner, so that's definitely a difference maker for the Edmonton Oilers. Has been someone who has, and that's an interesting storyline as well because Calvin Pickard has been a backup slash AHL starter. He's been basically a journeyman throughout his entire career. He was on the Avalanche. He was on the Flyers for a cup of coffee. He was a expansion draft pick for the Vegas Golden Knights. And now here he is on Edmonton. He's been pretty much, it seems like every couple of years or so, it's like he has his duffel bag packs for a different team. But now he's absolutely shining here, in Edmonton, given this type of chance, and Edmonton's rolling with it. Um, and very interesting enough as well. The games have been very exciting, very close, but exciting. It's been goaltenders duels, um, and unexpected heroes. For the Leafs, it's Anthony Stolarz, and like I said, for Edmonton, it's Calvin Pickard. So you have some very interesting no names and former backups, showing you how people have slept on them for years, and they shouldn't. So that's something very interesting to take away from that as well. Oh, excuse me. So wouldn't you agree with that, Alex?
I would agree, and it seems like this is the year of no-name players shining in the playoffs. Obviously, the Oilers struggling with their starting goalie, starting the backup. They had a crushing defeat last night of a puck that went off the stick of Leo's Drysdale. At the .4 seconds, they lost devastatingly to the Knights in last night's game. I never thought it was going to happen. I was at work, so I couldn't watch it. I saw the replay of it. I was like, how do you let a puck go off your stick and in with just under a second to go in the period? Well, it was unfortunate for Leo Drysdale to be there at the wrong time with the stick to knock it in. So this series is fun to watch, and I'm hopefully seeing the Oilers shine in this series because honestly, I want to see the Oilers go all the way again, and I want to see Canada get another cup because I love McDavid, and I think this is a Oilers team that can win the cup this year.
I was about to add, ask the Ottawa Senators, how does it feel to lose Stanley Cup game with an own goal, because that actually cost them a Stanley Cup. So that's an interesting factoid there. Um, but yeah, as I said before, as you said, no name players definitely step up in the playoffs. You can definitely tell. You get, some players are courting, teams like, hey, this is how I can do in the playoffs. If you just give me a chance, I can show you what I can do. Some roll with it and some don't. Ask the Buffalo Sabres about Billy Lano. Um, ask the Columbus Blue Jackets about RJ Umberger. So, there's some hits and there's some misses that happens, but normally playoff performers show up at the most opportune times, and you just sit back and watch as, either they actually prove that they are playoff warriors, or they are, well, flashes in the pan. So, as it stands right now, obviously there'll be some games tonight. And right now, the Jets and Stars are currently tied as of the end of the second period in Game 3. Um, when that series is tied 1-1, um, let let's make a little prediction here. Who do you think is going to win that one? Is it, you got the Jets or you got the Stars?
I personally like the Stars in this game. They have dominated inside the net. They have put shots on net. They have a fast paced offense. Hellebuck has gotten better, but he's not proven to me enough that he's able to win this game. He's given up 2 goals on 18 shots early in this game, which is very unlike of him. And obviously, he struggled in the past 2 games to start blowing him out in front of the net. But Hellebuck is looking better, but I think the Stars have Hellebuck's number, knowing that they've put him in dire situations that he's not be able to combat at all.
Yeah.
So I think the Stars are going to take this game.
All right. Uh, Here now let's segue to this. Now let's do we still want to go with Florida? Do we still think that Florida can upset the Maple Leafs and turn the Maple Leafs into, once again, um Taylor Hill from Throat Daggers? Uh that's a bad joke. Do you think the Leafs will choke, or do you think the Panthers don't have enough?
I don't think the Panthers have enough. This Leafs team is here for vengeance. They are here to prove to everyone that they are the team they've been to get out of the first round every year. The Panthers have had some struggle moments. Both Cosby is playing well, but he has struggled in the net, giving up 10 plus goals in the past 2 games, devastating Florida. The offense has come back in the series, but they've just come short 1 goal and 1 goal and 1 goal, and they're down early in this series. And if the Panthers can't fix their defense, this series is done, and Maple Leafs are going to these conference finals for the first time, and I believe in the past 60 years. As you said
Oh,
earlier, they could
yeah,
not
yeah, 6 years, about
get
60
out.
years. And they haven't been to the Stanley Cup since the expansion draft. The first one, 67 expansion draft. So about 58 years. All right. Next series. Which, by the way, I think the Panthers can turn the Maple Leafs into chokers. So that's what I'll say about that. Capitals Hurricanes. Carolina currently leads 2-1. Um, Alex, you're a Caps fan.
This hurts. I knew entering the series that we were going to be in for a series against the Hurricanes, but the fact that Logan Thomas has struggled so much in this series that he was shut out. Well, was put in 4 goals last night, and we were shut out against the Canes. Proves to me that we need to start Charlie Lindgren before we go back to DC. Because we blow Game 4, I think it's tomorrow night. We are going to be in a complete mess going back home in Game 5 to most likely lose in Game 5. The Capital Arena is loud and it needs to be loud enough to get in the heads, especially
Whoa. Alex, we lost you for a minute. What the hell? What's going on with your mic?
I do not know. Should be working.
Yeah, but it faded out, in and out. So I do not know what that was about. But yeah, Capitals need to do something. And fast, or else they're going to lose their chance, and their goal net's going to look like a coal bin. All right. Oops. Okay, next we have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. Do you think the Oilers take this series, or do you think the Golden Knights can come back from behind?
I think the Oilers are going to take this series. They have proven the offense can play. The goalie play is really good now. They just keep with the goalie now, the backup goalie. I think the Oilers are going to
Pickard.
Yeah, I keep picking the net. They're going to chokehold the series. And the Knights have been struggling with the offense. The goalie play hasn't been that good from Aiden Hill. I think it's his name, or Adam Hill, something like that.
Aiden Hill.
The Knights are not going to push the series any further. If they do, I'll be highly impressed. But I think the Oilers have too much firepower with Pickett in the net, Drysdale and McDavid doing their stuff. The defense is stellar right now in the playoffs. And this is a series that the Oilers can win. They just cannot do what they did against the Kings and blow it late in the series and then miraculously win it in 6 games because they figured out how to play hockey again. We do not need that again.
Right. Yeah, you can't. And yeah, not gonna lie. That is it for Biscuits and Penalties. It's pretty much a quick episode. Which, by the way, this podcast is brought to you by the Social Sports Pad Podcast Network. Yes, we're sponsoring it this time. But at which, hey, we have wonderful programs other than the Biscuits and Penalties Hockey Podcast. Of course, we have our Dirt Turf, our the Dirt Turf Baseball Podcast. We have the Hard Count, our football podcast. We have Pass It to Pigskin, our college football podcast that is debuting this year. We have the Lap Down, our NASCAR and racing podcast. And after this recording, and this podcast is up, we have the Social Slam podcast, our wrestling podcast. We are returning to the ring, Alex. So be on the listen for that as well. But if you're wondering where our affiliates are for our products that we love to use and represent, they're all in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget the show to channel some love. With Raw Nutrition, Bulletproof Coffee, Dr. Squatch, Duke Cannon, W Energy, Sleeves.com, Fubo TV, Century PC, and I think there's one more. In there. Oh yeah, and of course, Fanatics. So there's all that, and of course, it's been very interesting season this year. So, Alex, is there anything you want to add before we roll out?
No.
I think there is. Don't forget to listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts as well. As long as TikTok is up, we are in the process of making new shorts. Don't worry. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget our social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and hey, I'm Cobra's even on Blue Sky. We're also on Instagram. So don't forget to follow us on there to be updated on our podcast releases. So, once again, I am Cobra, and on behalf of Alex, we got to step off the ice because the Zamboni is here. See y'all next time. Bye bye.